Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to tackle one of the biggest questions facing QA professionals right now. How in the world do you test this brand new kind of software? I'm talking, of course, about AI. I mean, this is the central challenge, isn't it? For years, our entire practice, our whole world, has been built on predictable, repeatable results. You put an input in, you get a specific expected output. But with generative AI, that entire foundation just gets shaken to its core. So this is the crucial thing to wrap your head around, this fundamental difference. Traditional software is deterministic. The same input will always, and I mean always, produce the same output. It's based on fixed, hard-coded rules. But generative AI is non-deterministic. You can use the exact same input and get different outputs. And that means our old testing scripts, the ones looking for that perfect exact match, they just don't work anymore. We have to completely shift our mindset from input equals a specific output to input equals a range of acceptable outputs.
So where do we even start? Well, let's begin in a place that feels pretty familiar to every single QA professional out there, testing from the outside. This is black box testing, and it should feel like home. It's where you treat the application like, well, a mysterious box. You can't see what's going on inside. You have no knowledge of the code or the architecture. All you know is that when you put an input in, you get an output back. You're testing it from a pure end-user perspective.
And I love this analogy. When you test drive a car, you're focused on the experience, right? Does it accelerate smoothly? Do the brakes work when you stomp on them? Is the ride comfortable? You're evaluating the overall performance, the final product, without needing to know a single thing about how the fuel injection system is configured.
But here's where black box testing hits a wall in the AI world. What happens when the AI just confidently makes something up, what we call a hallucination, or it spits out a clearly biased answer? From the outside, you just see the failure. The car is sputtering, but you have no idea why. Is it the spark plugs, the fuel line, a bad sensor? You can't diagnose the root cause.
And to find that why, we need to pop the hood and get our hands a little dirty with a completely new level of testing.
This is prompt-level testing. And you can think of it as a white box approach. So instead of testing the final application, you're testing the individual components, the prompts themselves, the different models, the configurations, all in isolation. You have full access to the internal workings. You know, it's a lot like unit testing, but for AI.
Let's go right back to our car analogy. Prompt-level testing is like the mechanic plugging a diagnostic tool directly into the engine. They're not just driving the car around the block. They're checking specific parts to pinpoint exactly where the problem is coming from. And it's this really granular approach that lets you fix that sputtering engine before the car even leaves the shop.
Now, what's really interesting here is how structured this process can actually be. First, you define your prompts and test cases, maybe in a simple configuration file. Then, you assert your expectations, and this is the magic part. You set rules like the output must contain this keyword, or the summary absolutely has to be under 20 words. You can even use another AI model as a judge to grade the quality of the response. How cool is that? You could have one model write a summary, then use a second, more powerful model to score that summary for conciseness on a scale of 1 to 5. And finally, you automate the whole thing, running hundreds of these tests across different models to systematically compare their performance, cost, and quality.
So we have the outside view and the inside view. But this isn't about one versus the other. The real power here comes when you combine them. This table really breaks it all down. Black box testing looks at the whole end-to-end application. Its goal is to validate that user experience and functionality. You'll use this for pre-release checks and for your big regression testing suites. Prompt-level testing, on the other hand, is way more focused. It's all about the individual components. Its goal is to validate the behavior and quality at a much more granular level. It is perfect for early development, or for comparing different models to see which one really works best for your specific needs.
So the most important point here is this. You need both. Black box testing tells you what is broken from a user's perspective. Prompt-level testing helps you figure out why it's broken at a system level. When you combine them, you get this much stronger, much deeper confidence that your AI system is actually ready for production.
Now, adopting these new methods requires more than just learning a new tool. It really requires a fundamental shift in how we think about quality. This is a whole new game with new rules. And this is so important. We have to unlearn some of our core QA instincts. We're moving from looking for an exact match to evaluating a whole range of acceptable outputs. A failure isn't always a bug that needs a code fix. It could just be a prompt that needs a little tweaking. And because you can't get the exact same failed output twice, your goal shifts to reproducing patterns of failure. You're no longer just a bug hunter. You're more like a vulnerability detective, looking for things like bias, hallucinations, and serious security risks like prompt injection.
And this has never been more true. A developer might build something and test that it works. But a tester, we think about all the ways it could possibly break. In the world of AI, with its almost infinite possibilities for failure, that adversarial, exploratory mindset is an absolute superpower.
So what does all this mean for your career? Well, embracing this new mindset and these new techniques isn't just about doing your job differently. It's about seizing a massive opportunity to become an absolutely indispensable part of the AI development lifecycle.
Just look at these skills. This is the future of QA. Prompt engineering, red teaming to find vulnerabilities, auditing for bias and hallucinations, using an LLM to judge another LLM's output, security testing against things like jailbreaking. These are the high-demand skills that companies are desperate for right now. Mastering them makes you a truly future-proof QA professional.
And here's the payoff. Imagine your team updates an AI model. Manually retesting with a dataset of 100 past user queries could take you days. With an automated prompt-level testing setup, you can do it in minutes. That is the incredible value and efficiency you bring to the table.
So the landscape is changing, no doubt, but the need for skilled, critical thinking QA professionals is greater than it has ever been. The future of quality assurance is being written right now. The only question is, are you ready to pick up the pen?